Hi everyone, let's record the Boudicca slideshow in preparation for the exam and indeed the syntax chart CT that we will be doing. First page of the Boudicca slideshow. Eo tempore. At that time in Britain there was a Roman prefect, Suetonius Paulinus. At that time, eo tempore, at that time, twab, eo tempore, at that time, or Suetonius Paulinus was the Roman prefect in Britain. Mox, soon it was announced, perfect passive verb, to Suetonius, dative, that Boudicca, Boudicam, the object and therefore the subject, so accusative subject of the indirect statement, it was announced to Suetonius that Boudicca was leading, indirect statement, present infinitive, that Boudicca was leading great troops against the Romans, with Camulodunum, with Colchester having been defeated, ablative absolute, after Colchester had been defeated, the messenger said, Boudicca now wants liberare, infinitive, to free all of Britain. Suetonius therefore decided to move his own soldiers. Hurry, celereme, superlative adverb, as quickly as possible. Hurry, sorry, not as quickly as possible, just very quickly. Hurry very quickly, he said, superlative adverb. We ought to march quam celereme, there we go, as quickly as possible against Boudicca. Boudicca, however, where are we, was leading her troops, motion towards, accusative, to London, celereme, very quickly. To London, now the head, huius, genitive of this island, but then a small town. Harry, yesterday we saw Camulodunum, Colchester, having been defeated, perfect passive participle, accusative. Soon we will see London burning, accusative, present participle. We Britons are very brave, fortissimi, superlative adjective. We Britons will teach the Romans that the Britons, accusative, subject of the indirect statement, essay, indirect statement, present infinitive. We will teach the Romans that the Britons are more ferocious, quam Romanos, than the Romans. Of course, that could be in the ablative, and then it would simply be an ablative of, comparison with the quam. Then the next bit will be Boudicca. When Boudicca and the troops advenerunt arrived at London, they occupied hanc urbem, accusative pronoun, this city, celereme, very quickly. Incenderunt, they burnt the villas, and they interfecerunt, and they killed everyone who had not, pluperfect verb, who had not fled. Hodie, today, with many villas having been burnt, ablative absolute, so today, after many villas have been burnt, and, another ablative absolute, with multis hominibus, with many people killed, London was destroyed, perfect passive verb, third person singular, mea, laetissime, superlative adjective, very, shouted Boudicca, very happy. And we have shown to the Romans, nos, accusative, infinitive, indirect statement, verb of saying or thinking, that we are strong. Soon we will fight, future tense, against Suetonius. Soon the troops of Suetonius, superabuntur, future passive, will be conquered by us who are so brave. Next bit, last part of the passage. Boudicca, however, made a great mistake, eravit magnopere, erred greatly. Jussit, she ordered, plurimos, very many Britons, accusative, superlative, adjective, spectare, to watch the fight. Colligite, imperative, collect your wives and your children, she said. Collect your daughters and your sisters, another imperative, colligite. Drag up your wagons. In plaustris, sitting on the wagons, the wives and the children will watch this battle. It will be excellent to watch us conquering, present participle, the Romans. Boudicca did not understand that Suetonius was an excellent leader, and that he had both of these indirect statements, and that he had, hence the infinitive, and that he had skillful soldiers. Ubi tempus proili, when it was the time for the battle, with their wagons dragged up, ablative absolute, have been dragged up, many wives, children, daughters, and sisters gathered together and were watching the fight. The Romans bravely fought against the Britons. Many Britons, having been wounded, perfect passive participle nominative, were falling down. Flee, shouted Boudicca. Flee as quickly as possible. Today we have not won. Flee, and perhaps afterwards we will fight again. Future tense. Uxores, however, very many, superlative, very many wives and children had been, pluperfect passive, had been collected, gathered together nearby the fighting. They were sitting on the wagons, ablative absolute, that had been drawn up. It's not ablative absolute, sorry, perfect passive participle in the ablative. Then Boudicca was despairing. To where are we able to flee? She said with a great shout. The paths have been closed to our wagons, perfect passive verb. I was too bold, comparative adjective. I was bolder, I was too bold. I did not understand, accusative infinitive, that the Roman soldiers were brilliant, were the best. Now we have been overcome, perfect passive verb. Then Boudicca and many Britons killed themselves. We have been conquered, they said, despairing, present participle. Now, future tense, we will be the slaves of the Romans. Very well done, everyone. I look forward to seeing you all soon.